And we're back for another segment of Event Icons. We're now being joined with Stephanie Harris. Now, Stephanie, I am awful at trends posts. When it comes to trends posts, I avoid them like the plague. In fact, many years I've actually written anti-trends posts. These are the things that will not impact your life in the next year. However, that's why we've got you. So maybe you can help us and find out more. What exactly is going on when it comes to the 2020 trends? Why don't you first start out, tell us a little bit more about who you are and how you know about said trends.
So I lead marketing and event services globally for American Express Meetings and Events. And I have been in that role for about 10 years. And this is our 9th annual forecast. So closet data geek combined with marketing professional equals 100-page trend report.
It equals happiness, really.
Yeah,
Stephanie.
yeah,
It's what it, like Brett's like, what is it? And I'm like, the Bible? I mean, where do you go when you need the numbers and the things that go with, like, it's the futurist. Like, you know how you like Amy Webb?
Yep.
Here. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel you.
So it dropped this morning, though, right?
It did. We released it this morning. We've done a couple of sessions on it today, and I'm thrilled to be here talking to all of you about it.
So give us some highlights. What are we looking at in 2020? Because I keep hearing wonderful phrases like budgets are increasing, travel could be tough, but it doesn't mean that the meetings forecast is going to be impacted. So truth, lies, little both?
Truth. So the most exciting part of the forecast for me this year, we added in a sentiment series of questions. Like, how are you feeling? What are you thinking? The meeting respondents, we have about 550 of them globally that we go out to. Overwhelmingly, we're feeling really optimistic about the health of the industry. Yay, I know. And optimistic about the role of the meeting planner, optimistic about meetings really establishing themselves as a driver of growth and value in an organization. So, we're hearing nasty recession rumors, and there's the 2020 election coming up, and there's the soap opera that is Brexit going on. And, through all of that, I think the industry's feeling really like we're going to maybe not be the first place people look to cut if there is a downturn. So to me, that was super exciting.
And unusual, because if I'm thinking back to, the time right before 2008 and then right after, I mean, they were coming with it, and then it got really scary in 2011, and we were all like, dear Lord, or whoever it is that you talk to, please let me go to the next day. So if we had to choose, is this more domestic, international, or as a whole, the global space is feeling pretty secure?
Globally.
Oh my gosh.
Even better, right? So yeah, that was really super exciting. I think the other thing that I saw that, like all of you, I go to a lot of meetings, so this is kind of my life. And the other piece that we saw people really, really focused on was shifting from being mostly logistics to being really intent on creating better, full holistic experiences across the meeting. How is the content delivered? How is the food? What is the design of the session so that people are learning in ways that are really compelling to them? So, the experience piece coming into more and more of a focus and actually asking attendees what they want ahead of time.
That's crazy talk.
What are we doing here? What has happened?
No.
We
Bizarro world. You asked them how it was afterwards.
After, yes. Yeah. And you just have them circle a smiley face and move on. Yeah, there's this whole thought around establishing with the stakeholders why you're going to have a meeting or event in the first place.
So like a baseline and more than a happy face.
Wait a minute. We actually want to know what the outcome's going to be. And then we're going to measure, we're going to create an experience designed to deliver against that. And we're going to measure it. We're growing up.
So there's actually a section, Brant, that I think you'd like. So one of the reasons why I first started becoming...
About 25 pages of the 100? Or
actually, it is. But you know what it is? It's event tech. And I really like it because they get down and dirty in some ways. So tell us a little bit about what would make Brant's heart go pitter patter when you talk about that, because I like that they're thinking about the design, but so many people are still focused on the platforms and the tactical pieces. So give us a little bit of the tech.
Not event tech for event tech's sake. And hey, let's all
What'd I tell you?
Let's all have a raise the roof moment here, right? Round of applause. So
I'm gonna go run around the building a couple times.
doing the Rocky thing, yeah. It's technology with a specific purpose, and again, it goes back to this whole crazy notion of understanding why you're having the event in the first place, and what you want attendees to experience and walk away with. And then picking the right technology that allows you to deliver that experience, and only those technologies.
And then assessing it and going, was this working? Was this not? And then going, next year, now we can make a real, honest to God, educated. Yes. Yeah. See, don't you think that's worth?
That's crazy talk. Once again, you're saying things that make no sense whatsoever.
It's all in there. It's very.
So you're saying I don't need to rush out and like start getting blockchain in my event? Do I need to get blockchain in my event? Because I've heard of blockchain.
I heard there would be no blockchain during this discussion. No, I literally don't know enough. No. Don't sprint.
You mean without an actual need
corner.
for it? Okay.
No.
Yeah. That's
So
crazy.
the cynicist in me though goes, all right, well, you kept telling me a lot of good news. Are there any challenges or opportunities that are waiting for us that we should keep just, an eye out of?
Yeah. So there's always a challenge. And there are a couple of things. I would say one is the fact that hotel rates and airline rates are expected to increase, somewhere between 2 and 4% each. So, if you're following along here and doing the, what is it, kindergarten, first grade math now? I don't think I learned that until second grade, but that was a long time ago. So if you're following along with the math, that's 4 to 8% increase in your expenses. And we're only looking to see meetings budget increases in the 1 to 3% range. So that means we still need to be really choosy about where we put that budget. I don't know if you heard me talk about the why of an event, but if you know the why of your event, it makes it so much easier to decide, where am I going to cut? Where am I going to sacrifice to make up whatever the deficit is between the increase in your budget and the increase in some of those core expenses?
Strategery.
Yeah,
Strategery,
and there's
right.
there's talk of AV and technology also increasing by similar percentage points over the next few years. So, I mean, all of these things combined, you're going to have to start making some choices.
Yep.
And they're real hard costs. I think that's the things, like when you're coming into it, like you have to have these few items and then everything else. But as we keep going, experiences are important. I love that you keep going, you need to know why you're having the event. Because I think sometimes we're like, shiny object.
Right.
And it's so easy to put the tinsel on the Christmas tree and then be like, oh God, we have to take some ornaments off. And where do we start? And so that's worth the time.
But you still need the stand, and you still need, all of the foundational stuff. But maybe, a little tinsel off the top.
But I think you also, even those events that are long-term established events, could really stand a purposeful moment where you bring the stakeholders in the room and say, I know we've had this event for 10 years. I know we think it's working really, really well. But what could change? What in our attendee demographic and our attendee base, in the personas of our attendees, have changed? What about our businesses changed? Because I do think we get into that event for event's sake. And when it's a 10-year event that's successful or a 20-year event that's successful, you don't step back and take a moment.
Yeah, and what they used to call it, Jeff Hurt calls them the sacred zombie cows.
Yes.
And, I think that you're so gentle, and the disruption is important, and that if you're not continuing to ask questions around excellence, you're going to fall short. So as Brant has been like, it's 100 pages, but well worth your time, where does one find this amazing report?
One finds that at our website, AMEX Global Business Travel. It's free of charge. You can download it. It's editorial in nature. So the first half of it's very editorial in nature. The data table for the data geeks in the room, that is a big appendix at the back. You are welcome.
I like
to
me
all
a
the
good
data.
spreadsheet. Don't get me wrong.
Who doesn't? Who
do-
doesn't? Right?
You're in the wrong industry.
Cuddle up
Yeah,
with your
I do,
spreadsheet
yeah.
at night. Yeah, that's good. But we did take a more editorial approach because we heard like that's a lot of data, and we didn't want people to not read it for that reason. So yeah.
All right.
AMEXGlobalBusinessTravel.com.
I like it. So you can have all the editorial and all the pivot tables you can stand. All the trends for 2020. Thank you, Stephanie. You've
Thank
been
you.
fantastic for sharing these tips. We'll be right back with more great content here at IMEX America.